Well, welcome everyone out there in Facebook virtual land. Happy to have a wonderful opportunity tonight to invite you to spend a little bit of time with this incredible guy who's with me, not in person, but he's zooming live from New York and originally from Sao Paulo, Brazil, and just totally excited to have the wonderful guitarist, composer, arranger, educator, Chico Pinheiro. Welcome.
Josh, thank you so much. Thank you. It's such a pleasure. I was just talking, like, it's so good to see you, to talk
Oh
to you
man.
after it's been so long. We were talking about that long enough. The last time I saw you, we were playing together at
Yeah.
Sam First,
Sam first.
and then everything happened. I mean, and I didn't have the chance like to talk to you. So now
Yeah.
it's so it's special. Tonight it's special to get to see you, to get to
Oh
talk
man.
to your wonderful followers. I invited myself, some people, because I know they love this kind of stuff. Everyone is zooming out, right? That's
Yeah.
what we're doing right now. So thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Oh man, my pleasure. Thanks for taking the
Such a
time with
huge
this.
fan.
Oh
I'm a huge
man,
fan.
you make me a humble jazz pianist feel very special.
No,
Thank you. I'm a huge fan
not
of
at
yours,
all.
as you know, and I that's why you're here. I wanted to share you with your music with the audience. Some people might not know about you, or they know a little bit about you. We can go into depth about some of your recordings, and I want to talk to you about your process and what you're up to during the pandemic and all kinds of things. If you're just joining us, this is a series I've been doing actually start since the start of the pandemic, but the interviews are more recent, and I've been interviewing people like Chico who really inspire me. And I continue to
Likewise.
learn about music, especially this deep well of music that we call jazz, which is influenced by so many different cultures from so many places in the world. And one that inspires me, and I still continue to learn about it, is the music and the inspiration from the country of Brazil, which has an incredible history of music and continues to generate people like yourself into the 21st century. Just a rich, rich culture. Um, I have to say, the first time I went there, Chico, was with Natalie Cole, and I was playing with Natalie.
Oh,
And we got
right.
to
Yeah.
tour Sao Paulo,
You been to
Braz-
São Paulo? Yeah, you told me.
Brasilia, Belo Horizonte,
Mm-hmm.
and Rio.
Rio, yeah, of
And
course.
I got the opportunity to see Egberto Gismonti and Nano
Whoa.
Vasconcelos play duo. And
Wow.
that,
Ooh.
the promoter, right? I know. For those who don't
That,
know,
oh my
Gismonti
God.
is like royalty. Not
So,
enough
yeah.
people know who this genius is. He's still with us. Unfortunately, Nano has passed on.
Yeah.
But the promoter there, we had a night off, and the promoter said, "Does anyone know who Gismonti is?" And I said, "Yeah. What about him? Oh, he's playing tonight in Sao Paulo.
Oh my
You want
God.
to go?" I'm like,
That you were lucky.
"Okay."
I can tell you, because he's not a like an outgoing type of guy. He's very reserved.
That's the vibe I
And
got from him. Have you played
yeah,
with him?
I never played with him. I got to meet him. I'm very
Wow.
close friends with his daughter,
Oh.
Bianca.
Mm.
But Egberto, like I remember, when I was a teenager, I think I used to hear more about him and about concerts and stuff. But I think he was kind of playing less,
Uh,
getting to play, like getting. And I don't know, it happens, like Keith Jarrett, it's such an event every time,
mm.
because it's so rare,
Right.
not anymore. But I mean,
Right.
like recently, to get to
Sure.
see him, play, it was, like winning the lottery, right? So I think you won the lottery in Brazil, man, because like,
Oh man, that he happened to be playing, I totally felt lucky. Yeah, winning the lottery for sure.
yeah,
And I
and
was
it's
just
an
amazed
experience, yeah.
at his. Oh, it was such an experience. I'll never forget it. The whole band went, and the ease of he just started on piano, and then he put down went over to the guitar,
With the
killed,
guitar, yeah.
and then went back to the piano, and I was just
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
man, this guy's ridiculous. And since then, I've gotten to know his music even better. I got to do a record with Eddie Daniels, the clarinetist,
Wow,
and
yeah,
all
fantastic.
Gismonti music. And
Wow.
Mauricio Zodarelli, you know
Yeah,
him, the drummer,
Mauricio.
he's on
Yeah,
it.
I know.
He's
I
on.
love this album. I love this
Oh, you've
album.
heard
Yeah,
of, yeah, Heart of
I heard.
Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. That was a
fantastic.
huge honor because I got to go deep into Gismonti's music a little, some arrangements and great
Hmm.
musicians. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
So,
it's really deep. Yeah, I love his music.
yeah, man.
Actually, like there are two main. I would say there are two main schools. From the 70s on in Brazil regarding instrumental music, and one of them is no doubt is Gismonti, and another one is Hermeto Pascoal. And Hermeto Pascoal, and I as as much as I love Hermeto Pascoal, and I love Gismonti. There's something, you know, about his music that is so compelling to me. Like
Mm,
some people love Hermeto. There's this always we are joking about it because they're so different from
yeah,
each other, right? But I mean, I love Egberto. I think it's so delicate and at the same time so powerful. So his
right.
music is really for those who never, like if you don't know Egberto, check him out because it's really amazing. I always when people say, what do you recommend, you know, uh, about Brazilian music or whatever, as far as Brazilian music, man, Egberto Gismonti is always on my list. Like
Wow,
Egberto
yeah.
Gismonti, Elis Regina, of course. I mean, there is so many different like currents, in Brazil. But I mean, Egberto is definitely one of them, and
Yeah.
is so you got to see him. That's
Oh
so
man,
cool.
I'm so
That's
lucky. Yeah. I mean, this is a long time ago now, maybe
and
10
then
years
full
ago.
full circle because like after years, I'm sure like so you did this record. I'm sure I think I'm sure he loved it the
He heard
record.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently he liked it. Yeah, which was a huge honor to
yeah.
even
Oh my
know that he
God.
heard it, just
Of course he
amazing.
loves you, man.
Oh,
Who doesn't?
oh man. This is
Josh
supposed to be
Nelson, man.
about you, Chico. What are you talking about me?
That's some other conversation, man.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the best, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's get into a little bit of your music. We have a lot to
Sure.
discuss, and we can go as long or as short as you want. I'll keep going because I just love
Sure.
to hang, man. This is the closest thing we have to an actual like music hang these days. We can do,
Absolutely, yeah.
and we're all zoomed out, but Zoom is an amazing tool. It really is that we
Yeah.
can do this, share the screens, share the sound.
Yeah.
We can have a really well curated experience through Zoom,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that about with its
Yeah.
limits. It does have its limits,
Hmm.
especially for music instruction. Very frustrating to not be in the same room as your student,
Yeah.
and just figure
But
out.
at least it's something. Yeah.
It's least is something, but
It's
it's
something.
for
Yeah.
me. I don't know if it's the same for you. It's probably it's exposed using Zoom for teaching has exposed interesting ways to present the information to students. So
Hmm.
because of the limits, so you have to kind of do things a little bit differently to get the
Yeah.
information across. Are
Yeah.
you're Zooming a lot
We
with
definitely,
students
yeah,
right now, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I think definitely
Mm,
we all had to readjust, somehow, because, you know, I mean, at the beginning for me, to me, it felt a little bit for me, it felt a little bit weird,
mm,
because normally I play with the students then that no just and then I couldn't and then to keep them like focused is not easy
right.
because like especially if you have more than like if you have like 5 or 6 students or more to just to it's but I mean I admire very much their resilience because they're there they still like hunger for information whatever you want.
Right.
So I think it's an interesting, as you said, it's an interesting, it exposes how like how important, first of all, how important it is to meet in person,
Right.
which we take it for granted.
Right.
We didn't know, we
Totally.
had no idea how important it was. So that it's just something, okay, I'm going,
Yeah.
we are not able to do that anymore, like
Right.
simple things. But I'm really happy that we managed to kind of like overcome all this, which is not easy, for
Mm-mm.
everyone, for us, but for especially for the students, you
Right.
know. And then, but I'm having fun, like, and I'm getting to know people and to talk to people that I would never be able to if it wasn't for the pandemic, and now with the Zoom.
Right.
So, and yeah, that's the bright, I would say, if is there any bright side
Yeah.
of all this, like that you learn new things and you kind of like you readjust all your perspectives, to make it work,
Right.
to make it work,
Yeah, man.
right? I mean,
Well, let's get into some of your music because I just love your compositions, your playing, your musicians that you surround yourself with, your whole team, or just whatever, from album to album. You just have this way, man, of being yourself naturally all the time. And I want to start with the most recent record, which is City of Dreams, which I highly recommend if people have not heard this album. It is a beautiful work of art. It just got nominated for the Grammys, Best Latin Jazz Album.
true.
So congratulations,
Yeah, thank
man.
you, Josh.
That's so
Yeah,
killing.
you see, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be next weekend. Let's
I
see,
know
like
it's
crossing
coming
fingers.
up. Yeah, I'm lucky to be on one record that is in the best vocal jazz.
True.
Kenny Washington, the vocalist.
Kenny Washington,
I
yeah.
helped him with that record, so I'm nervous about
Uh,
that. But man, I'm hoping that you take
Me
it home,
too.
man, because it's
You
just an
too.
incredible. Thanks. This is just
You
an
know I
amazing
am,
record.
yeah. Thank you so much, Josh. Likewise,
Yeah.
man.
Let's listen to a track. There's too many good ones to pick, but I ended up picking Estrada Real.
Cool.
Is that cool with you?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Because
Whenever
this is like classic Chico to me. This is like you're great playing, great writing, and you're singing.
Yeah, I'm singing as well. Yeah.
And you sound
The
so
whole-
good.
The whole picture. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So if
Estrada,
you're
yeah.
just joining, this is my special guest from New York City tonight, Chico Pinheiro, and we're listening to Estrada Real from
Yeah.
his new record, City of Dreams. And then after we listen, we'll talk some more.
Okay.
Okay. are
I
from
am.
another planet. It's
No.
so killing.
Uh,
So
thank you,
good.
Josh.
Oh
But it's
man.
so it's kind of it's so like to hear that because I don't know if that happens to you, but every time I make an album, it's such a you're so absorbed, like you in the process that I kind of like stay
Mm,
just after I finish, I kind of stay like I don't listen to it for a
mm.
while.
Oh, sure.
So it's been a while that I like so hearing it right now, like I was like, oh my god, it's cool.
Oh, are you kidding? It's
Right?
great. I know that
It's great.
feeling though, of
You know the
course. And I
feeling,
was
right?
wondering that as you were listening. I'm like, I wonder if he likes to listen to it or if he hasn't listened to it in a while. So now it
Yeah.
sounds fresh,
I
because
haven't
it's,
listened to it in a while, for sure. That's for sure. And it sounds fresh, as you said.
man, it's just something
Yeah.
else. I mean, what a cool tune. It's got so much going on, but it also feels, and this is something I really love about your music. it there's beautiful complexity, but then there's this accessibility, like, and
Hmm.
it's very dance oriented. I mean, I couldn't just help but like groove, and even through your meter changes. What do you attribute
Yeah.
like your deep like trust in rhythm and groove to? Did you have some teachers that like imparted that to you in Brazil, or like where does that come from, and where's that pulse for you?
Yeah.
You know?
That's a very interesting question. I often I talk about that all the time with my students, and because people, that's something that I really feel is very strong on my music, like the rhythm,
Mm,
the rhythmic part of the,
totally.
like of every, it's completely like it's there, like it's
Mm.
very important. And it's not something I studied later on, but I think I always had, I was fascinating about, always loved to dance, like, and about rhythms in general. And as you obviously know that in my country, in Brazil, the rhythm is really really something that is present on every home. My mom used to play all kinds of records, old Brazilian records, good ones, and I grew up listening to this kind of stuff. Like it was something that was
It's in
very
the
natural to
fabric.
me.
Yeah, it's in
It's
the
in the
fabric of
fabric,
your
so
culture, right?
culture. So I would dance
Right.
to it, like it was present in I mean, all the time,
Right.
like, I mean, constantly, at home. So that is something that was the first thing that draw me to the music, like, oh my god, what is that,
Mm.
so it's true that I started playing, kind of pretending I was a drummer, playing with my that I don't know how to call it in English, I forgot, but the thing that you used to, my mom has it to make like this kind of stuff, how do you call it, to, do you know
Like a
what I'm saying, like,
drum machine?
to
No.
not drum machine, but to make clothes, like to make to this kind of like, and I
Oh,
use that as
like knitting or something.
knitting.
Knitting
And I use
needles.
the,
Oh.
the needles, I
Oh.
would use the needles, exactly, needles, as drumsticks. And I would put a bunch of, like, luggage, and each luggage was like a small luggage, like a big luggage would be my bass drum. And I
Nice.
would do that all the time when I was
Woo.
2 or 3. Like my mom said, like I
Oh,
would like
early.
roll
Yeah.
super early. I started
Mm.
playing the guitar when I was 6,
Whew. Yeah,
and
man.
and I never stopped, man. And always like this rhythm,
Right.
like I love it. So it was always present. And later on, I started to studying it, like, as I was even more interested. So I started to studying like odd meters and all this kind of stuff. But when I'm composing, I always try to be as intuitive as possible. So don't laugh at me. I don't know how to play the piano, but a lot of like a lot of times I compose on the piano, because I know, like, even not being, I don't have dexterity. I'm not, like like you,
Oh,
of course.
well. I
But I
mean,
mean, but it's something that, like, I can handle the chords,
yeah,
handle, and it's just something that helps me
absolutely.
to find different connections, because you have so many mannerisms on instruments. So I try to just try to compose, like, for instance, this song I composed half on the guitar, the first part, and then I went to the piano, and then I finished on the piano, because they're such different animals, like
Right.
I mean the instruments. So I always try to, as you said, it's accessible, because I think I try to don't be too much cerebral. Like, if it's sounding intuitive for me, that's it. If it's not, that's the most important thing. I just let it go. Okay, so
Mm.
let's do something else. Because it's too, you know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know how you feel it about that. Like I don't know. I'm always curious about the processes. My
Yeah.
friends' process.
Yeah, for me, rhythm has become more as I've gotten deeper into the music and studied it more. It's not taught as much, or in the United States from a young age, in my opinion. It's because it's
Mm.
not as much of a cultural just something you take for granted, like in Brazil, like all
Mm.
the variety of rhythms you have, and how it's just like you're saying, it's just around. There are rhythms, of course, in the United States,
Yeah.
but we grow up listening to mostly pop and rock. There's just such a deeper variety of rhythms in Brazil that open up other avenues in the music. So as I continue to write and like understand the connection between rhythm and harmony and melody, it just it seems like it starts, often now with a rhythm idea, and that a rhythmic idea or some kind of pulse or groove that gets me going. I get a lot of ideas when I'm like hiking or jogging, with like when you
That's
have
awesome.
energy moving and you're dancing or doing
Yeah.
something. So and I end up talking a lot about that process with students now, how important rhythm is, especially in the beginning, to
Yep.
to get it going, and get the train kind of moving,
Yep.
and don't worry so much about some of the other things, because when it feels good, that translates really clearly to a listener, especially and maybe not as educated listener, someone who's newer to the music. They really love and crave that pulse, that groove, that
Mm-hmm.
heartbeat.
Yeah,
You know.
that I feel the same. That's so
Mm.
interesting. Yeah, I feel the same. I think it's the most, I think identifiable
Mm.
thing when somebody, like hear uh, a motive or something that they can grab on. I mean, especially as listeners, the audience,
Right.
it's easier. It's just easier. That's why, like, it's not for nothing. No, the industry. But I gotta tell, like, I mean, the rhythm is very important. It connects like very, like immediately to people.
Mm-hmm.
Harmony in a different way,
Right.
melody of course, but I mean the rhythm, like once you get that pulse going, everyone can kind of okay, oh,
Yeah.
it's a fascinating, man.
Woo.
It's powerful. It's really powerful. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and
And
it comes through so clearly in your connection too with a drummer that you've been working with for a long time, Edu
Edu,
Ribeiro.
man. Yeah,
Edu, excuse me, my pronunciation.
Edu.
Edu.
Yeah,
He's something else.
he's
And
something else, man.
wow, how long
Yeah,
have you guys
Edu.
been playing together?
Oh my God. I know, forever. I think I
You can
the
tell.
first like I think I was maybe 18 or
Whew.
something like that. Yeah, like we go, we know each other from back in the day, man. I mean, a long time ago. I think we never. Edu is from the south, but and we didn't go to college. Well,
Mm.
we just like I think it was as soon as before I went to Berkeley. That was before I went to Berkeley. I recorded a trio, a little trio, kind of like 4 or 5 songs with Edu and a bass player that now lives in Boston. Great guy too. And we from the first moment, man. I know it happened to you, and you know that there's some connections. They just happen naturally. You know, you can
Mm.
put two great, fantastic musicians in a room and put them to play together, and nothing happens,
Right.
right? Sometimes it happens, like obviously you can, but the magic is not there, right?
Right.
And I remember we were kids, obviously, like we were in development, we were like trying new things and stuff. But as for from the first moment we boom started playing together, everything happened, and we knew it, So Edu is somebody that I really, I had this connection. With Anthony, we had this connection too.
Anthony
Anthony
Wilson.
Wilson,
Yeah, yeah.
our common friend. Like I remember that we actually, he went to Brazil, and we just jammed at home.
Mm.
Like drinking wines. He loves wines, of
Oh yeah.
course, and we were having some wine and stuff. And then from that first jam session, we immediately look at each other and said, "We need to do an album. We need to record this."
Yeah.
And that was it. you know,
Woo.
and that was like boom, the first moment like we play for I mean for hours, you know, and that happens. That's the beauty of music, you know, like it's really an universal code, right, language, and you can
Yes.
like you know, doesn't matter where you're from or what language you speak. Actually,
Mm.
there's music, you know, like floating, you know, kind of.
Yeah, man.
So it's beautiful, man. Yeah.
Well put. That was well said. Yeah, man. Uh, I just have a question about before we get into some more music. There's too much here. We might have to do part two at some point. I don't want to tire you out.
Oh,
Um,
of course, man.
yeah. The album cover and the title. Where did you come up with that? I'm just curious.
You mean City of Dreams?
City of Dreams. Yes.
That's great. So that's an interesting story. So the album cover,
I will share it so people can see what we're talking about too,
yeah,
because it's so beautiful. It looks like almost like California.
yeah. It's actually this is a desert called Negev Desert in Israel.
It's in Israel. Wow,
It's in
similar
Israel, yeah. And who
latitude.
took this photo? Who took this photo is my wife. Actually, she
Oh
took this
wow,
photo. Yeah,
it's incredible. I just love this photo. What a
me
beautiful
too.
cover. Mm.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw this picture, I swear to God, everyone said, "Okay, so City of Dreams is New York." No, it's not New York. It's this. It's not a city. It's this picture. That's the because there's nothing on this picture. So, but that's why I call it City of Dreams. Because for me, it
Mm.
like you can build anything from scratch as a dream. Like when it started, you always start a dream from scratch. So like okay, so you can build anything, you know there,
Oh,
and it,
beautiful.
but there's but if you look at you know if you look right down there, like you can see some like kind of civilization happening,
Mm.
right, by that last mountain,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like if you go towards the left.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, kind of
Oh,
like
over here.
an antenna. Yeah,
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 right,
yeah,
right,
something
right.
like
I
that.
see.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
notice that before. Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
So like, so it's something that it's very mysterious to me. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I dreamed of this picture, and I said, man, this is like a city of dreams, you know, like, and you can build, because obviously, you know, any city in California or whatever, like it was something like this, you
At
know,
one point.
at one point. And now you have LA, and now you have whatever, you know,
Sure. LA used to be look a desert. It used to
used to
look,
be like a
yeah,
desert,
exactly.
you know. So it could be California. You're
Yeah.
right, and so that's something that really caught my attention, and
Mm,
the name came from that, you know, like from the image, from the picture.
beautiful. Well, thanks for that. Yeah. Is it available on vinyl?
Not yet, but the Japanese it
Someone
was
was
released.
asking.
Yeah, yeah, it was released in Japan
Oh, cool. Uh-huh.
through a Japanese label, and they kind of like do they might kind of release a new version, you know, like in
Oh
vinyl,
man,
which
it
I
would
love it. Yeah.
sound so good on vinyl. I would definitely
Yes.
be buying that.
No, I would give you, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, please.
Oh
But
man.
yes, yeah, it's
That's
and she
great.
was there, like she was there for doing. Uh, she was there for a couple of months, and I went. Have you been to Israel?
No, I still haven't been.
Oh my God, it's
I
amazing.
want to go so bad.
It's really amazing, different
Yeah.
from everything else. I mean, it's something else. You know, like
Mm.
some of these some places are just like magical. You know, if you go to Israel, you can feel it. It's kind of the energy is a little bit different,
Yeah.
and it's great. It's very it's powerful too.
Mm.
Yeah, Tel Aviv is very different. But if you go towards like whatever, like Jerusalem or the Dead Sea, you know, this
Yeah.
kind of stuff, or these deserts, you know, like the Negev deserts, you know,
Yeah.
and it's something. Wow.
Yeah. I'm enchanted by the desert. I love the California desert.
Oh my
It's a
God.
very special place, magical and mysterious. A
Yeah,
lot of
it's
mystery.
my my two favorite places in the States. I've been to many. I don't know. I mean, but among the places I've been, it's California and New York. For
Mm.
different, but especially Southern California, like,
Mm.
it's really beautiful. Northern California too. I mean,
Yeah.
very different. But I mean, yeah, and it is just a magical place. You can feel it. You know, I told Anthony that the California is very magical.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very special. Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life and I love it. I love leaving and going traveling, but I love coming home.
It's a great
it
feeling.
feels good to come home to California. Yeah, and I think it feels that way for a lot of people. And it's my parents grew up here, and my grandfather on my mom's side was from New York, and they came out west like a lot of New Yorkers did in the 40s,
Oh,
baby boomer time.
yeah.
They came west. So
Mm-hmm.
roots in New York on my mom's side, but my dad's side's all California. Worked
California.
for aerospace industry, in the 50s and
Wow.
60s, like so many did, so many
Was big,
families.
yeah.
Yeah, it was big then. So yeah, I have
That's awesome.
a big
Oh my
place in my
God.
heart for California.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're totally you and Anthony. I mean, some people you can tell like because I love the vibe.
Anthony, totally
Anthony
California. Yeah,
totally California,
I
and I
know.
feel I always whenever I go there, I feel like home, and it feels like home.
Yeah,
California is a great place. Yeah, it's more chill.
yeah.
But not it's not chill. It's chill, but it has like it barks at you a little bit sometimes. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Los Angeles is a very it's a beautiful and very complex
Mm,
city. Like my hometown. We were talking about that. It reminds me
mm,
of São Paulo. São Paulo is
mm-hmm.
like that. It's beautiful. Like people are warm in a way, but I mean, on the other hand, you can find all kinds of, like it's rough. It's a rough place, but it's a beautiful and welcoming place in a way. It's yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very
How long
complex.
have you been in New York now?
4 years. It's been
Four
four
years.
years.
Okay.
Yeah, and time flew by.
Wow.
It's a oh yeah. We came here. I mean, officially, because because Fernanda Fefa, my wife, she came here. She moved here a little bit before uh, I did, like a couple of
Mm,
months
mm,
before, almost like maybe 7 8 months, because
mm.
she came to to do her master's degree here.
Oh.
So I came. I just followed her. I'm just kidding, but I mean, we decided in São Paulo, so let's spend like a couple of years there, because she was willing to come here. Like she
Mm.
was okay. So I would love to go there and stay, just spend like some time, and I wanted to. So and that's so funny because we did that, and just after we did that, everything happened, in Brazil and here so yeah, I politically, like everything happened. So like oh my God. And then now we are here, and we were supposed to be in Brazil, but
Oh.
things are really rough there regarding the pandemic.
Yes.
So both my parents and her parents, they advised us, don't
Don't
come.
come. Mm.
And when your mom, who is like dying to see you, like both, like and Fernanda, her mom is a very typical Jewish mom. She would never say that if it wasn't serious. Don't come here, like. So we stayed.
Listen to mama.
They were mom, listen to
No,
mama.
man.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course, mom. So what? So yeah, in a way, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, it's just you know uh,
It'll be nice
casual.
to go
It
home
was kind of
at
casual.
some
Yeah,
point. I'm sure it'll
yeah,
be nice to get back to Brazil. Yeah.
absolutely, man.
Mm.
We miss them a lot. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
we do.
you've been talking about Anthony Wilson a little bit, and he is one of my favorite musicians and people on the planet
Oh,
for his musicianship, his knowledge of literature, film, wine. He's the true Renaissance man, and
yeah.
he was somebody that helped me when I was getting started on the LA scene many years ago. Continues to collaborate with me and lend his talent to my projects, and I'm just in love with, guy crush on the guy. And he's the first person that introduced me to your music, and it was through this beautiful record that you released in 2007 called Nova. And I would love to play a track from that because I
Yeah.
think it's some killing playing on that. I have a pick. Do you have one you want me to
I,
play?
I,
Or
I will, whenever you want to listen,
number
I'm
two,
with you.
Tempestade.
Tempestade, great.
It's so cool. Is this
Oh,
your
man,
song?
that's my song.
It's
Yeah.
man, of course it is. Why I should know. It sounds like your song, man.
Could be Anthony's. I mean,
There's a
actually,
similarity in your writing.
there's like
Yes,
yeah,
I hear
but
it. Mm-hmm.
Anthony, yeah, was really amazing to have made this album. Was completely kind of crazy. Like he went to Brazil like you, but with touring with Diana Krall.
Diana Krall, right?
Diana,
Mm-hmm.
And then we got together, we jammed, as I said, and I said like, let's do this, like, and
Oof.
fair enough, like maybe 3 or 4 months, he came back, he stayed at my place, and we worked like crazy, like picking tunes and writing tunes and all this pre-production, like in 1 week or maybe
Oh
less, and then we
man.
did it. It was great. It
It
was
came
great.
out so great. For all those who don't know, go to Chico's website. It's just chicopinheiro.com, right?
Yes, .com.
You can find a lot of his records there and some sheet music and other. It's got a
Yep.
great shop on there, so make sure you support him. We're doing a little free listening right now, but make sure you show your support,
Thank you,
everybody.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so my guest is Chico Pinheiro, and this is Tempestade off Nova from 2007. I'm gonna woo too much. I'm gonna mute.
Love it, man.
Break it down. Break it down.
Which is so nice.
Right? Oh my God.
They're closing the studio.
Yeah. You guys don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. What a genius track, man. If you're just joining us, this is my very, very special guest, Chico Pinheiro, and we just listened to a brilliant tune that he composed, Tempestade, off Nova from 2007, collaboration with the great guitarist Anthony Wilson. You could hear him on that as well. And an amazing band. Edu is on that, of course.
Edu's on that. Fabio
Tell
Torres?
us, some the other musicians on there.
Yeah, so actually this song actually has lyrics written by a great composer from Paraíba called Chico César. So, but we recorded instrumental. So yeah, Edu on drums, Armando Marçal on percussion.
Killing.
Do you remember Armando that Marçal played with Metheny for many years?
Oh yes.
He recorded many albums like Still Life Talking and that era with Pedro Aznar was all like, I love his playing. He's such a sensitive guy and amazing player. So him and Edu, it's always great. Like it's like so Marçal and Edu, Marcelo Mariano.
Yeah, he sounds killing.
Who happens to be the son of César Camargo Mariano. That was married with Elis Regina and his musical director, Elise Tone. So this is his son.
Wow.
Playing
the
bass.
connection. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So and he looks just like César.
Really?
Just amazing. Yeah. So
oh man.
He's an amazing bass player. Yeah. So and Fabio Torres on piano.
Sounded great.
Great. Yeah. Fantastic.
He's on some of your other records too.
Yes, Fabio's on some of my records.
Yeah.
And I think that was it, yeah. And Anthony was playing an old 335 that it wasn't his Monteleone, it was a 335. We wanted this kind of more rock, kind of like 70s, sound.
Sure turned out great. Wow.
On this particular track.
Right.
So he played that with all these pedals and this effect, that song killing was Anthony.
Right. Yeah, man, it's just great. I just want to point out a few people that are here. My friend Fred. Fred is saying, this is great. Every time Josh does an interview, I have more music to buy. Fred is the best. He was at Sam First for like every show. He probably was at our show. He's the best guy.
Thank you,
he's
Fred.
Amazing
Thank
supporter.
you for listening.
Yeah, he's great. And Joyce is here. She's at all of my shows. Hey, Joyce. She's loving your music. You know Rebecca Kleinman?
Yeah, Rebecca.
She's a good friend of mine too. She's here right now.
Oh, nice, Rebecca.
Yeah, she loves this
she
tune.
She speaks Portuguese perfectly.
Rebecca is in love with Brazil.
Killer player.
Actually, Rebecca is a big part of why I started getting into music from Brazil as well as Anthony, because she was going to Brazil camp and she introduced me to Jovino Santos Neto and so many people I probably wouldn't even thought of.
Yeah, she's a connoisseur. She knows a lot about Brazilian music. I can tell. Rebecca, so great too.
Yeah. Karen Hammock is here. Hey, Karen, great pianist, and my friend Kevin Van Den Elzen's here. Hey, Kevin. So I do another show, West Coast Jazz Hour. We talk about like old West Coast, Shelly Manne, all the old stuff. And Kevin's a big, he knows a lot about that subject from back then. And he's a big fan of yours and Edu as well, so he's here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my friend Cuneo, Christine. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We have this beautiful community, man. Like the world can be like falling apart, but we still have this, like this.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I agree.
Just like it's healing, actually healing, because we need that more than ever. Like to just feel human, right? I mean. With everything that I hate, I don't want to bring. Let's just don't talk about that because I hate it.
Right.
But I mean, it's really nice to talk about how blessed, and I like I mean it. Like to have all these people connected, and I'm one of them. Like I listen when I'm not playing it. I'm listening to music and searching and finding connections, and really like proud of being part of this community, this beautiful community. You know,
Yeah, man.
I think it's a beautiful community. You know,
It
like
really is, and it's not just the musicians; it's those who support
yes,
and come to the venues and
exactly.
buy their
Yeah,
albums, and all these
all of
people here
us,
today.
all of
It's
us.
all
Yeah,
you said it perfectly. It is a blessing. Maybe a word that's overused, but it
yeah,
is very applicable. Right now, and
yeah.
it's getting a lot of us through this. This
Yep.
community that we built maybe before the pandemic, but we
Yeah.
continue to nurture as it
It's
goes on.
true. I mean, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's I
No,
feel
no, you
like that,
didn't.
blessed because like
It's a
it's
good word for it.
yeah, because like I was talking to my wife the other day, and she was super concerned, and she was like, "Oh my God, don't," and she always telling me how, kind of serene. Is that the word? Do you have this word serene? Kind when
Yeah,
you have like, not
calm.
nervous, yeah,
Yeah,
calm.
yeah.
You remain, and I said, you know what? I have my guitar, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
I tell you, because if it wasn't for it, I could be, like, but I have it, so like you can kind of like it's your channel, to good things. It's really, I don't want really, again, I don't want to sound cliche, but it's really something else.
Yeah.
Some people they don't have that,
Right.
you know, and through that, like we can all, you don't have to, in other words, you don't have to play it to be in that, kind of like
That's
that
a
community
good
that
point as well.
you can connect, like by listening, and I do that all the time. Like when I'm feeling whatever, like I just put some Caetano Veloso, or
Ooh,
or
I
or
know.
some yeah, or
That's a really good point too, Chico, about like as musicians we always feel like maybe we don't always feel like, but maybe that we always have to be at the instrument making the music or writing, but the beauty of just listening to vinyl, records, I collect so much vinyl and just being able to put it on and go to that place. It's we're very lucky,
it's
to
it,
have
yeah,
that. And man, teaching now through Zoom and how much is available, just like
yeah,
streaming or
it's just
YouTube.
insane.
You want to listen to this? Well, just like let me look. You know, we're old enough to remember
Yeah.
remember before all this
Yeah,
stuff happened.
of
So it's
course.
I try to keep one foot in buying the records, still supporting, but the other foot in current times and digital age and
Yeah,
streaming and all that stuff. It's an
absolutely.
interesting
It's
time.
awesome. It's awesome.
It's awesome, right, to have it all. Yeah, man. Yeah. So my friend Phil is here. Hey, Phil. He says he loves your work with Anthony on the Seasons record, which is
Oh,
amazing
seasons.
too.
Oh my God,
Seasons, and
Anthony.
Luciana Souza's record, Book of Longing, which he saw live. He saw both those shows live, and I was actually going to play a track off that record that you
That's
did
awesome. I
with
love that
her.
record.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
This is
Oh
so
my God,
gorgeous
yeah.
and very intimate with just you and Scott Colley on bass and the
Scott, oh my
amazing
Amazing
vocals.
Scottish,
Oh,
yeah. I miss them so much. We were talking about that because we have this WhatsApp group, and we're like, oh, guys,
oh my
what
gosh.
happened? Why we why we are not playing together anymore? But
Oh.
yeah, they're so sweet. I mean, I love Luciana. I just love. She's one of the most generous souls, that I ever met. Like
Mm.
since she was. I remember when I was attending Berkeley, she was teaching already,
Mm.
and she was so supportive, by all means, like from, like a mother from okay, so what do you need, like no, I'm kind of, I don't like this weather, but like, let's talk, let's have a coffee. What I'm saying,
She's a
all this, so,
beautiful person. I've
she's a
only met her.
beautiful
I've never
person.
got the chance to play with her, but I get that vibe from her really
Yeah,
strongly.
she's really amazing, and I loved her, yeah. And of course, Leonard Cohen, like the lyrics are just insane. Like I love what she did with Leonard's, like poems,
That's
and
right.
yeah, that was something else.
Pretty special. Yeah. The
Hmm.
track I picked is Paris
I love it, yeah.
because it's got you on it with a really cool sound on your guitar
Yeah, yeah,
on that
exactly.
one. Is that okay if we play that one?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Cool. And this is
Sure.
from, what is it, 2018 maybe?
I think 18, yeah,
Kind of
probably
recent,
18.
a few
Yeah,
years
yeah,
ago. Okay.
a few years ago, yeah.
So if you're just joining, this is my very special guest and friend, Chico Pinheiro, and we're going to listen to a track he played on, not from one of his records, but Luciana Souza's record. She's a wonderful vocalist you'll hear with Scott Colley on bass. And this is Leonard Cohen composition,
Cohen.
right? Or
Yeah. With
Paris.
Luciana, yeah.
Oh, well,
Luciana and lyrical, yeah.
right. Okay, here we go.
The Paris sky is blue and bright. I want to fly with all my might. The Paris sky is blue and bright. I want to fly with all my might. Her legs are long, her heart is high. The chains are strong, but so am I. But so am I. But so am I. But so am The Paris sky is blue and bright. I want to fly with all my might. The Paris sky is blue and bright. I want to fly with all my might. Her legs are long, her heart is high. The chains are strong, but so am I. But so am I. But so am I. But so am
That melody is so haunting.
It is.
Wow.
I love this song.
That's some hip shit, man.
It is.
Gosh.
And I love this album for so many reasons. I mean, I love
Really?
this kind of minimalistic
Yeah.
thing, And I remember for a moment, she thought about calling, because they're good friends, Vinny Colaiuta on drums.
Ooh.
Would
But I'm
be
glad she didn't.
be great, but we were rehearsing and she was playing all this great, like he thinks, because she really can play the
Oh yeah, fantastic.
So Luciana, we love Vinny, but we don't need him. It's so powerful the way it is. It's just like it's not necessary.
I'm so glad you said
You know?
that.
Yeah, I mean, but Scott was like, yeah, we don't need, and we all love their friends. Like Scott it's and Luciana and Larry. Larry was producing
Larry Klein, yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
it's just
they're
so good.
Great and yeah, he's really good. He's really
I
great.
highly recommend that record to people. Of the Book of Longing, if you want something a little different, as you can hear this minimalistic approach that Chico's talking about.
Yeah, Larry's a master. Oh, my
Oh
God.
yeah,
It's amazing. Yeah, he really knows what he wants, but he has this very special quality as a producer that he never handcuffs you. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
some producer, they do your thing. you
Right.
know. And then if he needs something, if I need something, I'm gonna tell you. Like, he's
Right.
very straightforward. I loved to work with Luciana and Larry. They're both dear, and Scott, of course, Scott
Oh.
Crowley. Yes,
Yeah, Scott is
everything.
something else. Yeah,
It's
I've had an opportunity to play a couple times, record with him 2 or 3 times.
I think he's from LA, right?
He's from LA,
He's
Eagle
from LA.
Rock. Yeah, he grew up with Larry
Eagle
Kuntz.
Rock, exactly.
Larry Kuntz and he are really
Friends
close friends.
forever.
Friends
Yeah.
forever, yeah. Scott is just
BFF, yeah.
BFF. Totally. Yeah, we had a really fun time doing this record. Vocal, you know her, maybe Allison Adams Tucker
Yeah, I know her.
from
Of
San
course,
Diego.
From
Yeah,
San Diego, yeah.
yeah. She did a record, and I arranged a lot of it, and it was with Antonio Sanchez and Chris Potter.
I
And
remember that. I love that album.
man, that
is
record
great,
turned
man.
out killing, and Scott was there, and he made me. I was so nervous just being around all these, and you know, Homero Lambambo. I mean, like
Homero, yeah.
the
Homero was
geniuses, and Rogerio
Oh my God.
Boccato. I mean, it was like
Rogerio, oh my
heavy,
God.
heavy. And then there's me, and I'm just like, I'll just be over here learning from you guys.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
my
such a
God.
huge.
I'm sure.
Well,
sure.
man.
Like, you guys had a blast, man.
Oh, I
Or-
had
know
such a
this
blast.
album. Yeah, and maybe wasn't it
Wanderlust.
produced- Yeah, but what was
Matt
it produced-
Pearson.
Matt Pearson.
Yeah, he
Matt
produced it.
Pearson,
Yeah,
which is
Sear
great.
Sound, and
Yeah.
that was I think it was my first or second time with Scott, but
Yeah.
he just has a way of making you feel very comfortable and at
Yeah,
ease, and just
he's
kind of
a
not taking it too
sweetheart.
seriously, you know,
Yeah,
serious but not so serious, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has this very special approach, and yeah, when we did the record, yeah, that was a really great. And the guy that was the sound engineer who just unfortunately passed not long ago was Ed Cherney.
I know.
Who's yeah,
Ed
and he
Ed
was
did this
another-
record, right?
This
This
record.
Book of Longing, right?
Book along, yeah, and Ed Cherney
Mm.
was like all these guys, like his heavyweights.
He
have
did a lot.
something. It's the aura, you know, it's just the aura, and such like an easygoing
Yep.
person. Like, okay, no, yeah, let's do that, and then it's some you know, like the studio eventually, you know, would have we would have some problems, you know. Okay, so this cable, whatever, like, and he was always kind of super, and the sound, of course, you know, like he used to work a lot with the Stones, the Rolling Stones, for years, right? Like, he recorded everything.
Right.
And
Yeah,
just
he-
by hearing the stories, you know, behind the you know, like the backstage stories or whatever. I think both live and he recorded a bunch of their albums. I know that because he was telling us all kinds of stories, like incredible ones. And I love that the stories about, like, when we work with like big bands, man, the best stories ever. You know, like when you work with big band, it's like, so they have like I remember Bob Minter, who is living in LA right now. It's based in LA. Was telling us, like, on the road, he was telling some stories, like Bud Breach stories, you know, and Ted Jones stories, you know. I love it, you know. I just like
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
I
me
think
too. The other
that
show
was-
I do, the West Coast Jazz Hour, some of the guys have the best stories about playing with the big bands. Actually, the big bands road stories are so much
the
fun.
road stories, yeah,
It's so good, right?
the best, the best. I love it.
Yeah, and that's a really good point about Ed Cherney and engineers like him too. That they have a lot to do, obviously, with the comfort level of the musicians during the session, and you know, their expertise, and you know, behind the scenes
Absolutely.
guys that we don't always talk about. You know, as someone like him who's done so many things, you know, that's really good. You pointed him out. As of course he just passed
Yeah.
away not that long ago. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. In
Yeah.
LA,
I
like,
got to work
LA
with him
had-
one time. At,
Oh yeah, with Ed.
I think maybe not Capitol, but somewhere east west or something studio here, and he was easy and fun and down to earth and
Right.
just like easy
Yeah.
fun
And,
easy.
and you guys have a lot. You guys have some really. Another one is Al Schmidt,
Al Schmidt.
who's from another. With
Another
everyone, you
legend.
can everything, a legend. But the stories again, like I remember, I spent with Anthony, and we were, you know, that was a funny story because we were like about to go on the road, you know, like we had the van, we have everything, and he forgot his acoustic guitar, nylon string, at Capitol. So by the time we went to Capitol to just pick up his guitar, pick up his guitar, and then it was me, him, and Edu, and I remember all Al Schmidt was kind of about to mix. He was starting to mix uh, some of Diana Krall's, some of her albums.
Right.
And then we went there, and so okay, so you're here, guys, come and listen, and then Edu was like, oh my God, come and listen, and then he sits Edu in the producer chair, and Edu's like in the Capitol, like at the Capitol with Al Schmidt, and then he hits the play, and it was one of these gorgeous arrangements by Klaus Orgelmann.
Oh.
And Edu starts crying.
I would probably too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hearing it, that's what I do. Like, man, I'm just a drummer.
I know.
Man, I'm just a drummer. I can't handle this.
I know. I had that feeling too, working with Al a few times at Capitol, and just the history that Al has there, and the history of Capitol Records and Nat King Cole. And I had that same feeling my first time playing with Natalie Cole. I lost it. Like I started crying because I looked in her eyes. She looked at me, and it was like I was seeing her dad and her at the same time. And like history of music, jazz, R&B, like looking at you that way, I'll never forget it, man. It was like so heavy.
Oh my God, it's heavy.
Just heavy. Like, oh man, yeah, and you're like humbled, right? You're like, I'm just a piano player.
That's the greatest thing about music. It's always a humbling experience. Like, so many, like I can, like kind of tell so many stories about that. But yeah, like we feel that. I felt like that many times. That okay, so we are just like a tiny part of, and that's so beautiful. Because, like, it's so strong, it's so, there's so many great things, if you think about the history, and not just the history as, like, after the industry was invented, but I mean, before that, since we were
that's right.
humans, like, it's that's something that really bonds us together, right? Like, before everything, before, like, the spoken language, any spoken, like, we had, like, this kind of, like, kind of codes, so this is really amazing. It's something it's ancient. It's way before the industry and all this kind of power and money. Like, it's really
a good reminder. Yeah, that's right. Before
it's before
it's before things.
It's before everything. Everything, man. It's
Chico, man, I'm so bad. Okay, I have to at least one more. Maybe then I will let you go. I know it's getting late in New York. We have you lucky.
It's early there, right?
7 o'clock.
Okay, I wish I was there.
Oh man, I wish you were here too. We'd have a drink together and catch up and play some music, man.
That would be perfect.
One day I will dream. I can dream.
Next time.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I have to play something from just the beautiful record from 2010. There's a Storm Inside. Because it's just. This was another record when I realized your genius. I was just like, who is this guy? And at the same time, this track I have to play. It's the first track because I was playing this song with Natalie Cole, and she loves the verse of Our Love Is Here to Stay. Love Is Here to Stay by the Gershwins. And I was listening to your record at the exact same time.
Oh my God.
And then I shared it with her because I said, man, I'm really like in love with this guy's music. And his name's Chico. You should listen to it. And she totally dug.
Accent from Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
My accent from Arkansas. Yeah. Like, man, you sound beautiful, man. A beautiful, like singer from Arkansas. That's it.
Nice.
Well, I did my best.
That's
it's
hilarious.
A beautiful song. It's a beautiful.
It's so
song.
great, and it was
song.
it was Nat King Cole and his wife Maria. It was their wedding song. Their favorite, so they got married to this song, or they did the first dance, and she just loved the verse, and she would always talk about the verse to the audience and say, no one sings verses to songs anymore, I really like this one. And then I was listening to your version of it, which just has the coolest harmony behind as the orchestra sneaks in. It's just so incredible. That's
cool.
Yeah, this is from 2010. Is that right? Okay.
2010, exactly.
There's a Storm Inside. Which has some amazing guests, Diane Reeves,
Yeah.
Mincer is on this
Minter
one.
was on it, yeah.
Yeah,
Minter and Diane. Diane, yeah, she's another.
but then you had the Naylor Azevedo on clarinet,
Yeah. Proveta.
killing. Oh
Killing.
man,
Yeah, he's something else.
this
This guy
record is something else with an amazing band, great production, and you'll hear what I'm talking about when we listen to "Our Love Is Here to Stay" by the Gershwins, and featuring the wonderful not composition, arrangement and performance by Chico Pinheiro. So,
Actually, I did just one thing that is important to say.
oh please,
The harmony at the beginning, it's fine, but I mean the strings arrangement is from Oscar Castro Neves, which I love. Oscar.
I forgot he did
Yeah,
the arrangement.
Oscar, yeah.
How can I forget and not give him credit?
No, but of course, sometimes some people, but yeah, I'm not sure if if you don't have the actual record. That's the thing about Spotify. So they don't say, they should tell the arrangement.
They don't put everything. That's
something
right.
that we really have to push it. Like I say, we
You
gotta
have to,
like. But anyway, so Oscar,
Oscar Castro
the
Neves,
late Oscar,
the genius.
Oscar, Castro Neves.
For credit where credit is due. Very nice. Okay, thank you for that reminder. Okay, Our Love Is Here to Stay.
The more I read the papers, the less I comprehend the world and all its capers, and how it all will end. Nothing seems to be lasting, but that isn't our affair. We've got something permanent. I mean, in the way we care. It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but every day a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here
Seven has never felt more natural. It's so easy, and how you phrase the melody over it is so brilliant. And now sometimes when I play this song, I can't think about anything other than your arrangement because it's so unique. Did you work with Oscar on this together with the arrangement, or did he come up with the concept, or how did it work?
So I actually, I did I did the arrangement.
You did, yeah.
And then I sent him the track, and then he wrote the strings on the top of it.
Ah, gotcha.
So that was even the verse, like all the stuff because that he is such a great and so, like respectful arranger that he really, like, as all great arrangers, like he really like grabbed all the ideas, even from comping or whatever, like, and he was just like, kind of floating around, like with the strings, which was great. And he was something else too, Oscar, man. Oscar was another beautiful soul. But anyway, so I wrote it in 7 because that was an interesting story. Like, this was recorded under a Japanese label who sponsored the record, obviously. So, and they wanted me to do a standard. That was the only like requirement. Like, you have to record in a standard. So it is okay. So, and then I started thinking of, okay, so because I'm not a jazz singer or anything close to that. I mean, I have to do something different, otherwise, like, what's the point of it?
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with me, but I mean, I want to present something different that people, because I'm not that King Cole or or
You sound great, man.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying,
But
like, there's a tradition,
Sure.
like, and I'm from, so okay, so let's do something that I can bring something from Brazil.
Yeah.
Because that's who I am, So we decided to do a bossa, and I said, and I started I decided to do a bossa, and I started to just fool around at home, and I said, man, that would sound great in 7. And just by playing it at home, I was just practicing. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna write it in 7.
Very
It's gonna be
natural.
fun.
Yeah.
It was natural. It's just the melody fitted.
Totally.
Totally. And I say, okay, so that's gonna work in 7. And then and then we did. And at the beginning of the song, most people don't know, but the drums, like these brushes, actually is Paulelli, is the bass player doing with mouth, like it's a mouth drums.
Oh.
Yes, like
Really?
Yeah, the beginning, for the whole the first part, and then it comes in the solo.
Oh, I have to listen to that specifically. Wow, I didn't realize that.
So till up to the solo, it's only me and Paulelli, the bass player. Like, he's doing like.
Oh my!
But he does it perfectly.
Wow, I can't tell.
Nobody can. Nobody
That's
can.
amazing.
And then it's so, and we did, obviously, like, the whole album was recorded live, at the studio. So we did the So It Do, when it comes with the mallets. It's so natural that nobody noticed. If I tell now, you're gonna notice.
Oh yeah, right.
Coming,
of course.
but I mean, at the beginning, it's just bass and
wow.
And then the piano comes, I think, in the solo too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks for that little.
Thank you for.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Thank you so much for playing it.
Are you kidding? Oh my gosh! There's so much great music on that record. I was going to play Boca de Siri because that tune is just absolutely slaying. That's such a ridiculous composition. But everyone out, go check out his records. There's a Storm Inside is what we just heard, and I just saw that Anthony Wilson's here now.
Anthony, we talked so much about you.
Yeah,
man.
you were here and not here, man. We played something from Nova Tempestade and just stories. And actually, he's gonna be a guest next week, or sorry, in March, later in March with Kevin, my other
I can't
friend,
miss that.
who we're gonna do a tribute show to his father, Gerald Wilson.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so March 23rd, I think we're doing that. Anthony's gonna be on with Kevin and I, and we're really looking forward to that. His dad's
Me
legacy
too.
and
Oh my God, yeah.
I
got to meet his dad. He's incredible.
Did you?
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was such a
me too.
sweet guy.
Once, maybe twice, right? Not too long before he passed away, but yeah, right. Genius family. I know.
Genius. They all. Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Guys are
Anthony, you
crazy.
missed. He says, "I got this little dog and it's taking up a lot of time." Oh, okay. You missed the beginning. Well, Go back and listen because there's plenty of Anthony love.
The little
And
dog,
then-
yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy, his dog is called Jimmy.
Oh,
yeah,
new
it's
dog?
Jimmy.
Ju-
I think so.
I don't know. Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. Maybe he'll tell us, Jimmy.
Jimmy, yeah. I think he just got it. I asked because I saw a couple of posts and I
Oh.
love the name. I'm pretty sure. I think it's because Jim Hendrix, of course.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yep, Jimmy. We were having some chill time and listening to Fred Hirsch. Then I was like, oh, Josh and Chico might still be on. Nice. Yep, Hendrix. He says Hendrix. Yep, cool.
Yeah.
And Allison Adams Tucker's here. Yay! She said
Allison,
two of my
Allison.
favorite humans in our. Aw, you're sweet, Allison. We were
So-
talking about your great record that
Yeah, we
I had
talked
the
about
joy
your
of
record.
getting to play and meet Scott Colley and
Yeah.
Rogerio and Humero and all those cats.
Yes. And Josh. All the cats together.
Just
oh my
teach
God.
me, everybody, please. I'm here to learn.
Such a saint, man.
Oh
yeah.
man. Well, man, we've been going a while. I think we can call it, but I really want to have another part 2 with you if you want to come back because you sent me
Absolutely.
so many great pieces and I had more stuff lined up to play, but I think we're going a long time and I don't want to give it all away. I want people to discover your music,
Thank
as
you.
I have, and
Josh,
thank you.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much for having me here. Really, like honestly, it's an honor and a
man.
pleasure. And when you wrote me, say Chico, would you? Yes. what? The first, because I love you, man. And
man.
both the musician and the human being. Like you're great. You're the best.
Thanks,
and,
man.
I'm always like available for you. So if you want to do it the second part, if you want to do it next time I'm there, like I'll be there, man.
Oh
Count on
man,
me.
that would be even better in person. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. So
Thank
the
you,
website's chicopinheiro.com,
Yes.
and you can go and check him out. And I want to thank everyone for spending a little bit of time with us tonight and getting to hear
Thank
some
you
of his
everyone for
music.
listening.
Yeah,
Yes.
and my Facebook page where you're all watching this on, you can go and hear some past interviews. We interviewed Gabby Moreno recently, which was really fun, talking about her new record she did with Van Dyke Parks, which was it was such an amazing album.
Amazing.
And there's some interviews with Jeff Parker, great guitarist, and Larry
Great.
Goldings, Larry Kuntz, all the people I am blessed
Oh my
to
God.
get to collaborate with and get to know and share. That's just a beautiful this format, and with the community you talked about, Chico. We're
Yep.
keeping it going. We're building
Yep.
it. We're not losing momentum.
Absolutely.
We have to stay
won't.
strong.
Absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
Josh.
Oh man, obrigado.
Obrigado.
Thank you so much.
You
Have a
too.
nice night, everybody.
You
We'll
too.
see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.